Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are here for the, gosh, is it already August 2018 PracticeMaster Virtual User Group meeting? And of course, it seems like it's early because we are doing this one on the first Monday of the month, as opposed to the last Monday of the month. Why? Mary Jo, do you know why? Patty, do you know why? Of course they know why, because I can't shut up about it. I'm going on vacation. Very exciting. And then when I get back, Mary Jo and I are flying to Atlanta to put in World Docs. So this is the only Monday that we could do this month. Mary Jo, did I mention that I'm going on vacation?
Oh, about 100 times.
So anyways, welcome. Today we are talking about the new user interface in PracticeMaster with version 19. Very exciting, very cool. We've put it in, half dozen or so, probably more like a dozen firms for pre-release. And the people that we pegged in those firms that we thought would not like the new interface, because they don't like anything, they're kind of like me, they all loved it. I don't think I've run across anybody that did not like this new interface. We're hoping you'll feel the same way. Without further ado, I am going to, Mary Jo's doing a fake drum roll over there. I am going to press the series of magic buttons that get us to the point where we are looking at PracticeMaster and its new interface. Mary Jo?
Yay.
I guess we have to disclaim.
I am unmuted. I wasn't sure this time. I always think I'm muted and start talking. Do you have a disclaimer?
We have a disclaimer. This dashboard that we're looking at, we're talking about that next time, okay? So we're looking at the interface. The dashboard may show up in the interface, but so does everything else, like fee entry or client manager or matter manager or client screen. So the dashboard's for next month. You kind of got a quick glimpse of it there, a sneak peek. But that's something we're going to be talking about next month. Mary Jo, you want to start us off?
Yeah, so here's our new theme setting here, our new interface, which is it's called the standard theme, if you're looking at that. So when the software is installed at the server level, when this gets put in and it gets pushed out to each of the workstations automatically, they will have a choice when that comes up to set that to the new standard theme. And it is a box that needs to be checked to say, yes, set it to the new standard theme. So you want to make sure that users are aware of that when they go to log in. It's going to pop up and they want to say yes to that question. When they do, they're going to get this new look and feel of PracticeMaster. It's going to have our quick launch. It's going to have our home screen. You're going to see the icons down here. This is the view that we want everyone to have. If for some reason they don't check that box, they miss that, you can change that by going underneath the View button up here on the toolbar and go to Theme Settings. And once you get to this screen, they will be on the classic theme, okay? And you can just simply set it to the standard theme. And so when you click on that, it will change the theme back to this new view that we have. Now, this does work both ways. If you do want to change it back to the classic view, you can go ahead and click on Set to Classic Theme, and you'll get the exact same view that you're used to with the task folders instead of this new windowed view. Now, every firm that we've put this in so far, I've given them that option, and every one of them has said, absolutely not. Everybody's going to use the new theme. So, and they've all loved it, as Paul said. So that is really good. Now, you can do a couple of combination things. You can accept the standard theme, but you could still show the task folders on a tab. You could also show the application toolbar over on a different place, but that's getting back into that old theme. And so I would suggest if you're going to go with this new theme, let's just go ahead and keep the standard theme and let this happen how it's supposed to, and then you can get used to that new interface. So that is where you control that. If someone, for some reason, gets set on that classic theme by mistake, come in here and set it to the standard theme. Just say OK, and that's going to give you the new theme. So it's controlled very easily underneath the View button up at the top. Paul?
OK. So I'm going to talk about this new quick launch pane over here. This is something that currently is pinned open, but you can unpin it, and just like quick clicks appear over here as a tab, when it's not pinned open, it's still a tab that you can click on, access whatever you need, and then when you click someplace else, it goes away. I prefer to see it as something that's pinned open all the time. And of course, if you pin it open, you have complete control. Well, if you can click on the right thing, you have complete control over how wide it is. So you can, and that's at will. So you can make it smaller, for certain things you're doing and bigger for certain other things. So the very first thing you'll notice here is these pinned actions. At least that's the very first thing I notice. When you start up the software version 19 for the first time and accept the new theme, it will take everything that you had customized, if you had customized something, on your main tab in the old task folders view and pin it as a pinned action. Maybe you don't know this, but that main tab on the old task folders view is customizable. And so if you had moved things around or changed things or added things that weren't there, they will still be here under pinned actions. Now, the next thing you'll notice, and more on that in a second, is that we have this search actions box up here. I can't tell you, because it would be embarrassing, how many times I have lost track of where certain things are. You know, is it here? No, is it here? Where is that thing? Well, now I can simply type something like Matter Manager or MATT, and it will pop up Matter Manager, a report that has the word matter in it, and the client file, because it knows that if you're looking for matters, you may be looking for the client file. So not only is it searching for words in the exact title of the action that you want to take, but also things that you might call it that aren't even in that exact title of that action. Very cool, very smart. If I go and run the Matter Manager, here I am, there we go. I was going to say it will show up under recent actions, but it doesn't. Why not? Because it's already pinned, okay? So let me think, what's something that I can show under recent actions? Mary Jo, give me something that's obscure. File maintenance. There we go. So if I go to file maintenance and then say, no, I don't want to do a backup, and then it doesn't let me in there, that's all right. It now shows up under recent actions, okay? So everything that I do will end up showing up under recent actions in order of when I last did them. So I just did file maintenance, so it pops up to the top of my recent actions list. Now, all of these things that I'm showing you here can be collapsed. So if you want to see this in a very concise view, then all you need to do is collapse the things that you're not currently using. And I'm going to go back to recent actions. Now, one thing that you'll notice over here is that when you hover over something, you get these icons over at the right. So you'll notice I can pin this so that it's under my pinned actions by simply hovering over it and clicking pin, and now it's up there. Look at that. Now, maybe I want file maintenance to appear right there. So I just drag it up there, and now it's up there. And then if I say, oh, you know, I really didn't need that up in pinned actions, I can unpin it. Where does it go? Right back down to recent actions. What if you say, oh, I don't want file maintenance on recent actions either. I don't know why this is following me around. How do I get rid of it? You simply remove it from recent actions, and it's gone. So you have pinned actions that either you inherited because they came in from version 18's main tab in the task folder view, or you have pinned recent actions up under pinned actions since you updated, and you've moved them around and made them in the right order. Some of them you might have unpinned, some of them you might have deleted from recent actions. So one other thing that we have is recent matters, and when you have recent matters, you can also pin them. So I can take a recent matter that I've been in and pin it so that it will always be here under pinned matters until I tell it to unpin. And then, of course, if we had this trouble over in tabs, I'm not unpinning properly. We don't know why. We think we probably should have updated our software before we did this. So you should be able to unpin it. And when it's under recent matters, you can also simply delete it from there. So you have complete control over pinned and recent for both actions and matters, and you can control that and collapse them and see everything you want to see. And then the last thing to show you here is that if you had gotten rid of your home tab, you can get it back by just clicking that button there, and it takes you to the Home tab.
It did unpin too, Paul. I don't know. It did go away.
Oh, it did unpin.
Yeah, I think you just weren't letting go of your
Yeah,
screen, so
yeah. I'm a little impatient sometimes.
that's okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to talk about the new tabbed interface. So you saw as Paul was opening some new things, they were showing up as new tabs up here at the top of the screen, and they didn't go away. So he's in the Home tab, but he still has the Client and the Matter Manager open, and I can just flip back and forth between those. So every time I open something, there's my monthly calendar, it's going to pop up here onto the tab list up here, and then timer, things like that. Now timer is going to open separate. That was a bad example. That's going to open down underneath my timer, but recap of hours, any of these different things that I want to look at, they're all underneath my tab function, and I can just go back and forth between them. I can open up multiple instances of the same screen. So let's say I had Matter Manager open for Michael Larson, but I also wanted to open Matter Manager for something else. And I don't think Paul has that pinned anymore, so let me go back up here and just start typing Matter Manager. I'm going to open another tab of Matter Manager. And so when I get there, well, maybe, maybe I'm not. I think maybe because I already had that. Let me do the weekly calendar again. I'll open that up, and then I'll just click on weekly calendar again. It should, there we go. So there's weekly calendar. I can flip back and forth. So think of that if you had multiple clients open, multiple fee windows, whatever that is, you can do that. One other nice thing that they've done in version 19 is given us the ability to split the screen with these tabs. So let's say I have one weekly calendar here and I want to look at someone else's weekly calendar. So let's say I have the whole firm on one of the calendars and I have just me on another or something like that. If you go underneath your window button up here on the toolbar and go to, they have two different things, a new horizontal tab group or a new vertical tab group. So if I want split screen, first I'm going to unpin my quick launch just to give me some more room on this screen. And wherever I have my highlight going on is where it's going to break this vertical window. So I'm going to put it on this last tab. I'm going to go to Window and say New Vertical Tab Group. And now what it's done is given me a split screen, and here's one weekly calendar on this side and one on this side. If I open any additional windows, whatever side I'm on, that's the side it's going to open on. So I'm going to go to the fee file, and I'm going to open that, and see now that went over onto the right because I was highlighted on the right. And then I'm going to close a couple of these so that we don't have quite so many open. And then I will open another window over here. I'll open the journal file. And so now I was on the left screen when I clicked on that, and it added that tab to the left screen. So I can toggle and compare information throughout both of these screens, which is really, really cool. When you close them out on one side or the other, it goes back to the single screen. And so there we have that. Now, something else that is really nice is with the conflict search. If you wanted to come in and do a conflict.
That's contact.
Oh, that doesn't matter. I'm just going to do test. I'm going to do contact or conflict, either one. We'll search. And I could get results here that I would preview on the screen here. And then I can either do another instance. So back in version 18, if I were in a report like this, I would have to go all the way back out of that report to run another contact search. Here, I can just leave this one open and flip right back to my contact search and search for a second item. So I'm going to, whoop, if I can get into the right place there, Purdue, and I'm going to search for that. And now I've got the results for that, and I still have my results from my first search right here, and I could flip and compare those results if I wanted to. And again, I could also do the split screen and get to my right spot there, and I could compare those results side by side. Now, if you like to see things in a horizontal view, you can split your screen horizontally and have something at the top and at the bottom. And again, you can have tabs going here and tabs going across the bottom. To close it, we just go ahead and close out whatever window we want, and then it goes back to single screen. So that is the tabbed function that we now have available. And I'm going to take us back over and pin that back out there for you, Paul.
Well, Patty, it says we have a couple questions, or
Okay.
at least one. So, Patty, why don't you start with those real quick?
Sure. Is there a limit to the number of matters under recent actions?
Under recent matters?
Or recent matters, I'm sorry, yes.
I think there is. I don't know what that is. Mary Jo's looking to see if she can find it real quick.
I don't know. I'm not
but
sure.
If you really want it to stay there, that's what pinning it is for. So if you've got 3 under recent that you don't want to go away, then what you do is you pin them, and they'll stay pinned until you unpin them. Is there another question, Patty?
There is. On the split screens, can you drag windows from left to right or vice versa?
I think you can.
Let's go out there and do the split window. Let me get something else open. Let's get a monthly calendar, and let's split that. Vertical tab. Let me open something else on this side. And if I drag it over, there it is.
And while we're thinking about it, if you want, you can drag it to a different position within the same screen.
Yes.
So you can reorganize the tabs, and you can reorganize the tabs by moving them from one window to another. Another question, Patty?
Not at this time.
Okay. So I am going to talk about the new actions section. And so I'm going to wait for Mary Jo to give me that mouse back.
I'm sorry, I was just trying to get you back there.
Trying to get me,
trying to close
trying
my
to get me where I go. So now, all actions, you remember in the task folders view that we had tabs along the top. And when you clicked a tab, it would take you to a group of icons, sometimes with sub-icons, like a full report, all AR reports and all client management reports and all management reports. And so that's what they've done with all actions. They originally got rid of this, and then they brought it back because people liked that as well. And then we'll get into my actions in a second. So here's reports. And under reports, you might have report writer reports or certain other things. Here's documents. They've reorganized them a little way, but the concept is still there. There are groups of things under all actions. So if you don't like using search and you don't like looking through the menus, this is the same concept we had in the task folders view. Now, we also have something called My Actions. Now, you may have noticed that when I went into, let's say, People and hovered over the client file, I had a little star that was already filled in. But the Renumber client doesn't have a star that's filled in. So if I fill that in, I have just added that to my actions. That's one of about 782 ways to get something into my actions. Mary Jo thought that joke was funny, by the way. I'd like the record to show that Mary Jo thought my joke was funny, Patty. So My Actions is kind of like a turbocharged version of the main task folder in previous versions. One thing you'll notice is that we have groups now that we can create. I've got my reports and my files. And if you go to this little gear icon, I believe they call this a gear icon, Mary Jo. I'm sorry, I'm in a kind of a giddy mood here. I can change this stuff around. So if I say, well, I like the monthly calendar here, but I want to move it up here, all I have to do is drag it. Now, those of you who've ever edited the main tab in the old task folders version know that in order to move an icon, you used to have to delete that functionality from here and add it here and then take what was here, and it was a little bit cumbersome, to say the least. Now we have, of course, this drag and drop capability. We have the ability to remove something by simply clicking the Remove from My Actions. We can take this client inactivity report and drag it down here to what I'm hoping is my reports. There it is. And now I have simply added that function to my reports, and the client inactivity report is now there. I can add a new action and a new group by simply clicking the appropriate button. So if I want to add more actions to my reports, because that's where I am, all I do is say Add Actions, and I can add anything, even though it's called My Reports, I can add any action. Of course, that isn't something we'd normally do if we're going to arrange these in a way that makes sense. And I have just added all of these actions to the My Reports group. I can even add a subgroup and call it something like My AR reports.
Not in PracticeMaster, you wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Thank you. My client reports. I got Mary Jo here to keep me on track. And I'm going to make the color orange so we can give it something that's going to visually distinguish it from that other group. And I'm going to, again, I'm just going to add some things. I'm not going to worry about whether they're really reports because I'm trying to get through this. And so now these items have been added to my reports, specifically to the My Client Reports subgroup. So you can add groups, you can add actions, you can drag things around, you can delete them, and when you're out in the All Actions, if you find something that's not already in your My Actions section, which you can tell because the star is not filled in, you can add it by simply doing that. Did I get everything, Mary Jo?
I think so.
Okay. So let's finish this up.
Okay. So the last thing I have to talk about is the new look and feel of the icons down here in the lower left. So just underneath our quick launch, you can see they've updated all of the icons here. They have updated the icons up here as well, but these are definitely more modern. Each of the modules now has its own color. So tabs is blue, purple, we got teal, gray, orange, whatever we have here, green. And you also can tell which program you're in because whichever one that you're in, it doesn't fall off of the screen. Now, I don't know if you remember in 18, you'd have the little toolbar on the right, and it would, if whatever module you were in, would not show up on the little icon list. Now, they're all here, and whichever one you're in is now underlined. So I know I am in PracticeMaster because I'm underlined. If I flip into another program, I'd go over to tabs, and tabs would be underlined, and so on. So that makes it very easy to see. The icons are updated down on the toolbar everywhere. So everything throughout now is going to have this new modern look and feel, nice coloring, easy to navigate. The font is definitely much bigger, easier to read. It's a different font, able to be viewed much better for our old eyes.
Our old eyes.
Yes. So,
mine must be really, really old eyes because I'm older than you, but we won't go there.
okay.
And we will be talking next month about how to change those fonts in PracticeMaster. So don't worry about the fact that we don't touch on where to go to change those. We're really just looking at the interface. Next month we'll talk about that. Patty, you have some more questions?
I have a couple questions. Will actions that were previously created be transferred over, or will they need to be recreated after the transfer?
The actions that were previously created are what show up initially on your My Actions, along with, that's basically it. Whatever was on your main tab before, whether you created them or you just left it the way it came out of the box, will transfer over to the main screen of your My Actions. So yes. That's the long way to say yes.
Yes.
What else do you have, Patty?
Is there a shortcut key to switch between tabs?
Well, yes, because when you open up a new tab, you're actually opening up a new window. Yeah, sorry, into stuff I can't get into. So if you hit Alt-W, which takes you to the window option, and then I hit 2 for contact search, I've switched to the contact search tab. If I hit Alt-W, which takes me to window, because these really are separate windows, and hit 4 for recap, or just click on recap of hours, I've switched back to the recap of hours. So yes, Mary Jo looked at me and smiled when you read that one, Patty, because that's my whole day is using shortcut keys to switch between tabs. Which to me is
just, easy just to go click, click, click instead of going Alt, what is it, Alt-W, and then what number is it to? It takes me, that would take me way longer. But I know you keyboard people are not trying to,
How quickly they defend their own ways of doing things.
Just saying, click, 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 you can get through them.
More questions, Patty?
No more questions,
okay.
But Mary Jo, I'm with you.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
We need to have a poll. Any keyboard people out there versus mouse people? See who wins.
So next month, we are going to talk about this dashboard that we gave you this little teeny view of. There it is. Oh, it's gone now. We're going to talk about the dashboard in great detail. And we're also going to talk about the, oh, we don't talk about changing the font till 2 months from now. Yes, we do get confused about what's next month and the month after, Mary Jo. Outlook Toolbar enhancements. I'm going to talk about the ability to journal multiple emails to a single matter in one fell swoop, and certain other cool things that have been added to the Outlook Toolbar. And again, that dashboard. So be sure to be here for that. Of course, it wouldn't be a virtual user group meeting if I didn't take you on a quick tour of attorneycomputersystems.com. Notice the emphasis on that last S in the word systems, because without it, you won't get where you're going. If you click on the word videos, quickest way to get here, you will get to a list of all 6 of our video topics, video titles, if you will. 4 of them are live. We have our tabs, PracticeMaster and WorldDocs virtual user group meetings. We have our Coffee Pot webinars, which is me talking to people from companies that have products that offer ancillary functionality, additional functionality to tabs or PracticeMaster or WorldDocs. We have our 2 pre-recorded titles, Mary Jo's eBytes video series. She records 3 of these each month. Tabs 3, PracticeMaster and WorldDocs are all covered each month. These are short little 2 or 3 minute videos with something really cool that we think we can explain very concisely and that we think everybody should know. And then for those broader topics, we have the Paul and Mary Jo Show, same concept, something really cool that we think everybody should know, but these are the bigger things that maybe are going to take a little longer than 2 or 3 or 4 minutes to explain. So these sometimes will be 10, 15, sometimes even 20 minutes long with us going into great detail and covering everything. If you click on one of the live events, like for instance, this one here that we're currently in, you will find that we have a brief description of the event or title itself. If it's a live event, we have the information on the next one with 2 links to register. They're both the same, but some people like to click on something that shows them where they are. If you scroll down, you'll find that we have pre-recorded versions or recorded versions of every live event we ever did. And they're all here. You can scroll through them. You can type something in the search box if you know exactly what you're looking for and want to see if we have something on it. These are there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So please take advantage of them. They're there for you and they're always on. So go use them. We have about, we think, 800, 850 videos on the site. So don't watch them all in one night. Don't even try. That's it for today. Everybody have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the month, and we will see you in September. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.